toy that I want to show off to you guys, and I honestly don't know anything about this as far as if it's good or bad. I just picked it up off of Amazon, but this is a Field King brand backpack sprayer, 4 gallon or maybe 4.5 gallon capacity. I think it's at least 4 gallon capacity. And the reason I wanted to get this bigger sprayer more than anything was because I'm going out and I was spraying the garden with BT, neem oil, you know, you could use it for worm tea, compost teas, whatever sort of spray, fertilizer or pest prevention, whatever you want to use for organic solutions. But I had a little 1 gallon sprayer, and now that the garden's gotten a lot bigger and it's further from the house too, I was having to make a bunch of trips back and forth, and it just was frustrating. I want to say this was like 60 bucks, but I just wanted to show off some of the fun features of it. My stinking brother's jealous of my garden, so he's trying to call and interrupt me right now. Obviously it's a backpack sprayer, so it's going to be more comfortable. I'm not having to carry the sprayer in one hand and have the wand in the other. But let me go ahead and get it mixed up here. We're actually going to spray some BT. One of the things I do like, actually, especially like about it, is right here in the top. There's a screen to make sure that you don't get any big debris down in there. And for this BT that I'm using, it recommends 1 tablespoon per gallon, and I've been mixing 2 gallons will do it. 2 gallons is right at enough. So we're gonna go 2.5 because the garden's been getting bigger, like I said. And I don't mind throwing on a little extra BT because I've had entire crops of zucchini, cucumber, stuff like that get lost to the squash vine borer. So I'm doing this kind of preventatively, just to try to stay on top of it, and so far it's working great. Let me get some water turned on here. So we're going to do 2.5 gallons. Rinse out my little scoop there. Just 1 gallon. And I like this too because I can do the BT with other treatments. Like if I was doing a foliar feed or something like that, you know, you can mix it all up in one foliar spray treatment. There's 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons. Okay, go with that. Get this shut off. You'd think I'd have enough sense to put a little on-off valve on the end of the hose, but it always leaks. So we've got our BT mixed up here. And now let me see if I can shoulder this puppy. I've kind of test fitted earlier empty, but this is the first time I've picked it up full. You really want to do this like have a tabletop or something that you can back up against. And it sits, for me anyway, because I have that little toy on my back end, it sits right on that, which is uncomfortable, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, so it's got a little clip on the back here too that holds your sprayer, and it's got this neat little pressure regulator on the bottom that gives you an ideal sort of spray pattern. So if you sit here and crank the handle up and build up a whole bunch of extra pressure, you still get a good regular pressure. It comes with a few different tips as far as fan pattern spray tips. I'm just going to go with this regular cone tip right now. You just thread it on and off, you know. The further open you thread it, the more concentrated spray you're going to get. Tighten it up and you get more of a mist. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to secure this object so that it's not left laying around. Maybe. Hitting my wallet. Oh, and now I'm going to go deal with my kids because they're whining about something. Let me go see what the daughter's crying about, and then we'll take you to the garden. So, since we're talking about convenience, it's kind of weird to have this on your back. I'm just not used to it, having the water slosh around on my back. But the great thing is, I can walk and talk start pumping. So you've got the handle, obviously, you guys that have looked at these, you know where it's at. And this one's actually designed too that when you pump the handle up and down, it has little paddles inside that also move up and down that'll help stir it. So if you are pumping some sort of solution, that's good and tight. If you're pumping some sort of solution, it'll help keep it mixed up. So let's get walked out here to the garden. We're just about here, and I'm just going to turn the camera around so you guys can see it in action, see it spray. So we'll start on our squash here, because that's the, see all the grasshoppers. Oh yeah, that's way too heavy of a pattern. So we'll tighten that up a little bit. That's pretty good. I like that right there. It's got a good long handle so you can get in around comfortably. I'm standing upright. I'm not having to stoop over and do any of this. And again, since I'm after squash vine borer, what I'm really trying to do is spray down low on these squash. Get down around the base of the plant, because that's where your vine borers will bore in. They don't mess with the leaves really. So trying to get down low in the middle of it. I feel like I'm running out of pressure relatively quickly, even though I got it pumped up. But that's okay. If I weren't filming, I'd be able to pump with one hand while I sprayed with the other. And it gets pretty tight though, I don't know. And of course, again, the bigger the air pockets you get in here, the longer your pressure up will last each time. The everything grown in here around the squash, in case you guys are curious, is radish. It's that field radish that I planted as a soil amendment and a stabilizer. And it actually went to seed. You can see all of it out there still that's dead. It went to seed, and these are the seeds of it sprouting back through. So I'm just leaving it, as long as it's not in the main row and competing with the plant, I'm just leaving the radish. You know, it's not choking out these squash by any means. They've got up over the top of it, so then it's just a ground cover. It's competing with the weeds at this point, so I'm totally happy with that. We'll go over here. I feel like I might be putting this on at a higher rate than what I'm normally do with the smaller sprayer. So we'll see if this little watermelon, we'll see if this 2.5 gallons makes it through the whole garden or not. Got watermelon, this is cantaloupe here. Getting low on the cantaloupe, and this is the cucumber right beside it. Of course, they look almost identical, but definitely two very different. They darn sure taste different. Get her pumped up here again. Like I said, you guys are slowing me down having to film for you. Man, it really goes to town once you pump it up. I am getting a little bit on the leaves as well, might as well, because there's some sort of little grasshoppers all in here. I'm not real excited about. So like I said, I've been really focusing, since this is the BT treatment again, I've been focusing on the vining plants. That's my biggest concern, is getting them taken care of. So I come out and I do all them first. And then I take basically just whatever's left over, and I just kind of wander through the rest of the garden and spray all the other vegetative stuff. I try to really get on the tomatoes too because of the hornworms, which I haven't seen any hornworm yet, but I just assume those buggers get a mouthful of BT as soon as they try to show up, as far as I'm concerned. Not that I'm really that big of a fan of tomatoes, but by God, if I planted it and I'm growing it, I don't want to lose it. Anyway, you guys get the point. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the honor of watching me work. We'll just see how I can do on this thing when I'm not trying to hold the camera in one hand and spray with the other. So let's get out here and do the rest. You won't see me get everything, but coming up, I'm walking between the rows of my green beans, and I've got a double row here of okra. So I'm mostly doing the leaves. I can see bug bite holes all in the leaves. See, I'm able to pump while I'm spraying, so that's great. Do a double row of beans here. The last thing I do is my corn. Just, I don't know why. I care about the corn, but it's pretty strong. I definitely want to get my tomatoes and my peppers. Because they're so big and bushy, I go up one side and down the other with them. I feel like I'm having to pump it up a lot, but like I said, I think it's because of the application rate on it. And I don't actually mind pumping it up more because I'm able to pump while I walk and while I spray, so I don't have to stop and sit down to pump it up and then get going again. So it doesn't really bother me any at all to have to pump it up. I mean, if I wanted to get real lazy, I guess I could get one with a little battery pump in it, but again, where the tomatoes are real thick here, I try to get down inside the plants with it too, not just spraying on the outer edge. We'll just go on the corn. Again, I'm going to do a double row of the corn because I've got the reach to do it, so might as well. Look at this corn. This stuff 2 weeks ago had just come up like ankle high. 2 weeks. And now it's waist high. It just blows my mind how fast this stuff is going up. But there's a corn tassel. A little corn tassel trying to come on. That's interesting. I feel like I've still got a good bit of fluid in my backpack here, but I'm done at this point. Let me see what the camera says. I'm done. I'll spray the whole garden that quick. 12 minutes? That ain't bad. With a little 1 gallon pump sprayer, I spent 12 minutes just walking back and forth to the house. Heck, I'll tell you what I'll do. So I got a little left over here. Go spray some on my fruit trees. I don't know that the bugs have really been after my fruit trees, but what's it gonna hurt, right? They don't look great. I've been neglecting them pretty bad. Little variegated lemons here. They're weird. It's like they grow up and they die back. They grow up and they die back. Here's a peach or nectarine of some sort. Nectarine. Oh, cool. I thought all my nectarines were dead, which I don't have any fruit because it got popped by frost, but cool. That's really good. That's a sun red nectarine. This is a fig. Oh, it's got fruit on it. I didn't even know I had figs on. But this tree looks a little worse for wear. Not sure why. Some water may not hurt, but don't go out of my way to water these things. I want them to take care of themselves. Now I'm back to having to pump with one hand and hold the camera with the other. I think I'm just about out. So I'll spray what I can here, and the rest is just going to have to do without. Another fig. I don't even think I like figs. I had some a neighbor brought me. I don't really care for the texture on them. Kind of grossed me out, but this is a pineapple pear. Lord have mercy. The little girls sound like a banshee scream. Kids are out playing in the pool, so they're screaming and throwing a fit, fighting with each other. Here's a peach over here. I picked a little peach the other day. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I did actually have one little peach that made it through the late frost that we had. Everything else got popped. I got one little peach off of this tree. It's the only thing I got. All my plums and everything that were set all got popped by that late frost. That's a peach. I got several peach trees. I don't even remember the varieties anymore. There's so many different varieties, I don't really care. I just know when I bought them I had plenty as far as cross-pollinating was concerned. Let's see here. Oh, here's my little Granny Smith apple. Look at that. Little apple. Little apples up there. These Granny Smiths are weird. They're so sparse. They're just all trunk. Hardly any vegetation. Like hardly any spurs or... Look at that big old grasshopper. Give him a whole bath of BT. Yeah, I'm just about out. I'm thinking this is another little apple tree, but I can't remember for sure what it is. It's a shame, really. It looks like a little apple tree. It's still sloshing. This is another pineapple pear. I think I'm gonna have just enough. Look at that, 2.5 gallons. I thought I was putting it on heavier than that. But 2.5 gallons is actually gonna do the whole garden and the orchard. This thing went weird on me the other day. It looks like it's doing better now. It dropped a bunch of foliage. I don't really know why, but what it's got left looks better. I don't know. Okay. All right, so that's it for the sprayer. I'm doing this part 2 now because I just gave you like 2 minutes worth of talking about the sprayer and my camera wasn't running, but it is now. Anyway, so far so good. Really happy with it. If nothing else, I'm happy with the convenience aspect that I can fill it up once and I can just go for a walk with it and spray all the garden and not have to be back and forth to the house and bleeding off pressure and filling it back up and blah, 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 blah. One batch, one and done, sprayed the whole garden as it is, plus the orchard in like 15 minutes, which was probably slow because I was messing with the camera and trying to show off for you guys or whatever. So yeah, so far so good. What was it called? Farm King, I think. Farm King, Amazon. Like 65 bucks. I'll put the link below this video so you guys can find it if you want it. So far I'd recommend it. We'll see how it holds up. The little cheap 1 gallon sprayers that I've been buying over the years, I probably bought a half a dozen things. They just crap out. They just go bad. I don't know why. The seals leak. They get plugged up. The little internal valves fail. I don't know, but this one of the reasons why I bought this one too was because it specified that it is very simple to rebuild, no special tools required, all the seals are accessible, you just thread things apart, and there's your O-ring. So I'm hoping it goes well. So far so good. It's early, but I would recommend it.